Well, either I'm gonna be your hero or this is gonna go make money on YouTube. One or the other. I'll explain it after if it works. First problem. About to go off the back wheel. Alright, here goes. Oh. Oh, still running. Excellent. Okay, got it down in one piece, but we still missed the back ramp a little bit, and we bent the back ramp. How about that? It was starting to slide coming down. I didn't think I had enough front brake to hold it, so that's why I put it in gear, but then it wouldn't roll in gear. So I went ahead and started it so that I could get it to roll, but didn't want to drop it when it was running, so pieced it together though. So what we did, I bought this work platform especially just for what we're seeing right now. That actually worked out really well. It's pretty stable. $39 at Home Depot. The tires are spares from my truck. I figured if I got it to about 20 inches lift or so, the angle wouldn't be so bad. And I'm on dead level. I didn't use any hill or anything here, which would have made things a little easier on me. Getting the tires spaced right to where the ramps would line up made it work fairly well. The front ramp is tied to one of the seat posts there so that it couldn't slide off. A little bit slack, but it worked. 6 foot, 1,000-pound Harbor Freight. No, Northern Tool, I think these were. Same diff. Relatively inexpensive. Got the job done though. Twice. One is way too steep, and the problem is the school bus just sits so stinking high. You know, pickup would be, the bottom of the bumper would be no big deal. And I'm by myself, and the nearest person might be across the road, and I don't know them, so I hate to go down with a broken leg and say, hey, I'm your neighbor. But we got her done. Never speak of it again. Oh yeah, what did I break? Pretty heavy chunk of something. I think it came around from the back wheel somewhere. It's like a splash guard off the inner fender maybe, or something. Don't know, I'll figure it out later, I'll post it. And this memory card has 47 seconds, so we'll call it a day. And be done. Sort of. If I would have gone straight, it would have been perfect. Color me happy though, it worked. 27 seconds left on this memory card. I have decided this vacation will be televised, and since I'm out of memory cards, taking a break. Of course that still means I'm going to end up doing something, but got the bullet items done today. Bus on ranch, motorcycle out of bus. Oh, it's a rough life. So, life goes on. We do have a card reader and more cards. I've got an inverter running off of one of the spare batteries. Camera is running off the inverter. Camera battery is charging off the inverter. And, just off camera, I'll show you later, I remembered to bring not one, but 2 power strips. So when I get the generator running, we can really start kicking it here. So, I'm tired. I'm going to do a little bit of straightening up here later, but put the ramps under the bus, the tires under the bus. Now that I got the back corner of the bus cleared out, I can put the bed back in there. Generator's still in the bus for now. I'll leave that in there until I get ready to use it. I don't know, make it up as we go. But it's a strange existence here. Come out here to get away from everything, but I bring everything with me. Not only do you need the laptop, well, okay, it's kind of an ecosystem. There you go, we'll call it that. You got your digital camera, which now is also a digital video camera. I'm using a still camera as my video camera here. And I don't think I even have an actual video camera anymore. No, I sold that. Might get one again, but for now, this is working out pretty good. Okay, so digital camera needs batteries, charger, cables, AC adapters. AC adapter needs AC power, or you could run a DC adapter probably. Oops, almost unplugged. I guess that's alright. Anyway, when the cards get full, you either buy more cards, or laptops are cheap now, so you go buy a laptop. So what I've got is a basic, was a Windows laptop, it's now running Linux, that doesn't really matter. And then card readers, and at the end of the day or whatever, when you run out of cards, you just transfer all the cards onto the laptop, and you don't have to edit them right away. They can just sit there, and then what I'm going to do, get home, transfer all of those files back onto a hard drive, which if I was smart I would have brought the hard drive with me, but anyway. They'll sit on the laptop until I get home, and then I'll transfer them to an external hard drive and then put them on my editing computer. But the inverter is just one of those really fun things. The one, it's just a little thing about the size of a paperback book, and it'll run up to 300 watts, which I don't want to do the math. It'll run the laptop anyway. I'm not sure if it'll do the laptop and everything else or not, but it'll do at least the laptop by itself. So for now I've got camera battery charging, camera running off of the AC adapter, and the laptop is plugged in. I'm going to make sure that it works before I'm going to finish this clip and I'll start the laptop so I don't crash the camera. Because if the laptop pulls too much, it'll crash, probably. And then that's the little inverter, and then I also got the bigger inverter that can run the microwave and a full-size computer. And later on, we'll set up the bus with multiple batteries and solar panels, and then it'll just be self-contained and run pretty much continuously and quiet. That's the nicest thing is what I'm probably going to do is in the morning I'll start the generator for an hour, top off all the batteries, run the microwave. If I had a coffee pot, I'd make coffee. I didn't bring a coffee pot this time. Almost brought the blender. Smoothies would be really nice in the morning. But had to draw the line somewhere, right? The plan is the first 2 weeks of May, I've got more vacation coming. So I took this week off just to get the bus here. And what was happening was I made a deal with the guys I was buying the bus from. They have a little bus lot. I'll put a link to them, but their website isn't up right now, I don't think, or something. But nice people, really nice people. But so what I did is when I first looked at the bus the first time, I was like, okay, I knew I wanted to get started on getting the bus because this transfer that I'm doing for work, I knew was going to happen eventually, and what I was afraid of was that they would say, okay, you can transfer, but you have to go in the next week. Well, that wouldn't give me enough time to get set up because I would need someplace to live here. And I didn't want to go from one apartment to another apartment for a lot of reasons. So I thought, okay, I was going back and forth between building a little shack or living in a big tent or putting a camper shell on the truck and living in the truck, or picking up an RV trailer or shipping containers. And they all had their benefits and they all had their problems. I've worked on RV trailers before. I worked on a sales lot. And I've lived in a trailer before. And they're nice, but they aren't very well made. And they don't last very long. And so if you buy a new trailer, which, you know, if I was going to do it, I probably would have had to finance it because I was still paying for the land, paying the rent. Just paid off the truck a little while ago and haven't saved any real money yet. So I thought, well, if I do something, I'm going to end up financing it. Okay. And then I have to get it out here. And I came back to the bus idea, and I had thought about buses a long time ago, and I kept coming back to it because I move all the time, and usually end up either putting stuff in storage or just getting rid of it. And I thought, well, if I was living in a bus and it was time to move, you know, you coil up your cords and your hoses and you unplug and you go to the next place and you plug in. And at the time I hadn't really thought about land because I never really liked one place enough to stay there. And getting some dust in my eyes here, the wind is still blowing. Hopefully the wind isn't on the mic too bad. But I kind of came back to the idea here. I got stuff growing in my drink. Nice. I always use Gatorade bottles because when they get too gross, you just throw them away and get another one. Better if you refrigerate it though. Iced tea with Gatorade mixed in or something like that. Anyway, so I'm at the point now working with the post office. It's a federal organization, obviously. And they let you take your military time and convert it to federal time. And that was kind of one of the things I liked about going to the post office in the first place, because I didn't know the details then, but I thought, well, you get credit for your time. Because I was in the Navy for 9 years. And I thought, well, okay, see what I can find for the post office. Well, then I found the mechanic job. I'm like, wow, I actually could probably do that. So, and the nice thing there is there's post offices everywhere and you can transfer. And so every 2 or 3 years I always end up moving anyway. So, but with my military time, by the time, before I'm 60, I'll have enough time credit to retire. Won't make a fortune, but I've never had anything before. So then I thought, well, okay. I started looking at land, and I actually found this one on eBay, I think. And I thought, well, you know, if I could have a place paid for by the time I got to retire, then I could live in a little stick shack. And even, you know, because my thought is, I never liked the idea of being stuck in one place. But it would be nice to have a little place to come back to. So if I had a little shop and a storage container that I could keep my stuff in, and then if I decide I want to take off for 6 months and ride the motorcycle to Alaska again, or go to Europe for 3 months, or whatever, if you're paying rent, it really hurts to leave an empty apartment for 3 or 4 months or 6 months or whatever if you're not even living there, you know. So usually what would happen, I'd get burned out and I'd just quit, and I'd throw all my stuff away or give it away to Goodwill or whatever, and then I'd hit the road. And wherever I ended up, I'd go find another job. Well, every time you start over, you're getting older. And this year I turned 50. And you know, it's kind of getting to the point, it's like, man, you know, it's a pain in the butt getting a job. You know, you got to go through everything. And I mean, if you want to work at the McDonald's or at Walmart or something like that, it's probably not too difficult. But you know, if you want to have, you know, I'm not big on stuff, but if you want to get anything, it's hard to do it at minimum wage. So, kind of like, well, first I was looking at this place and I'm like, man, wouldn't it be great to build a great big shop, you know, big steel building with a concrete floor and maybe put a lift in it so you could work on your vehicles and stuff like that. I never really wanted to do it for, like, as a job for other people, but I'd love to be able to, you know, build your own little hot rod or something like that. And then started looking at the money side of it, and I'm like, okay, so if I work for 7 more years, this land I'll have paid off before then, especially now that I can live out here. You know, when I was making rent payments plus the payments on the land, you're never really getting anywhere. But if I can live here, not pay rent, you know, I can knock this out in probably 5 years now, and still have some money, you know, for savings and stuff like that. That's the other thing. Every time I'd move, start over, I'd waste my savings. And you know, they always told you when you're, you know, 18 in the Navy, start saving some money, and you never do. I just was really excited and relieved to get that motorcycle out of there without killing myself. Because you're halfway, you know, it's like once you're committed, you're screwed. You know, it's like, it's once you come over the hump and it starts sliding, you know, either you run with it and you can't run backwards step to step hardly. So, but we made it.